Hello and welcome to Top Tips for Scottish Buy-to-Let Success. This time I want to talk about gross yield versus ROI. So gross yield obviously is the rent or the income received in a year divided by the purchase price, whereas ROI is you take all the cash you've outlaid, you look at all the cash that you've brought in after your costs, and you divide them into each other to get obviously a return on the money that you've outlaid. So gross yield is quite commonly used for comparing properties, and that's fine to a certain extent, but what it does not do is take into account your running costs. So for instance, with properties you could have a higher turnaround, you could have factor fees, you could have higher than average maintenance costs, and so obviously they're not taken into account when you're comparing property to property with gross yield. So ROI, with Dyer & Co.'s portfolio building clients, they're all shown a spreadsheet. What we can do is we can put numbers in there to show sort of typical numbers into the spreadsheet. So we'll put in the deposit, stamp duty, broker's fee, solicitor's fee, cost for your certificates, and any repairs that need done. Then what we do is pop the rent in, so that gives you an initial return there. But then obviously there's running costs. So over the course of the next year, what we'll look at is the mortgage interest rate. Now obviously we can change that to show clients how your return changes as the mortgage interest rate changes. You've got your letting fee, you've got your buildings insurance. Also, we always put in repairs contingency of 10% of the rent. So what that means is that's 10% of the rent that you're setting aside every month as a buffer for any future repairs or maintenance. Because obviously things do go wrong. Now with all these figures in the spreadsheet, we can play around and show clients obviously what's going to happen with these. And then there'll be a figure at the end which is your return on cash invested. Now, obviously let's not beat around the bush here. At the end of the day, the majority of people invest in buy-to-let to make some money. So that is probably the most important figure. Now, looking ahead is very difficult to get an accurate ROI, but once obviously you've had a course of a year, you've got all your costs there, you can get a more accurate cost. But the best thing you can do is to obviously be very conservative with your figures, overshoot what it could cost. You'll get yourself a figure, and then the reality will probably be that what you end up with is a lot better than what you projected. So typically, when we put our figures conservatively into a spreadsheet, we're looking at anywhere between 10 to 15% return on investment for these properties, obviously based on the information that we've entered into the spreadsheet. So ROI, great tool for comparing investments side by side. Gross yield does have its uses, but at the end of the day, as I said before, buy to let, majority of people do it to make some money.